lying in front of the camera, and the fat 6 foot, 230 pound guy is behind. So we'll see how much better it goes than me on the camera. Anyway, today I am packing up this gun. You might remember it from a couple videos ago we went shooting. It's a 300 PRC, and I'll show you the targets real quick.
Wait, you just blocked me, hold on.
Sorry. You want to look at the gun first?
Huh, I can't get it to focus either, so
okay.
it's
not me.
Well, there, okay, so I have to go to manual, so there it is, that's what it is.
It is a Macmillan A3 non-adjustable stock. It has a Krieger 1 in 11 4-groove barrel, shallow Krieger flute. Like I said, it's a 300 PRC and right bolt repeater. If you remember the targets, this is how this shot.
Wait, let me get it over there. Okay, tell them what it is.
The 205 grain Berger Elite Hunters. And then that is the 200.2 Berger Hybrid. And then 190 Berger VLD.
Okay.
So it shoots incredibly. I'm packing it up to send to the customer. And like I said, we had videos a couple times ago. But the reason, Jimmy, pick it up and show it. The reason that I'm here also is because Scott is thinking about duplicating this gun, this rifle, and wants me to buy the components to make 4 to 6 more of that exact rifle, except with thinking about using like Hawkins Hunter DBM, the detachable box magazine, and Hunter's a low profile instead of the BDL style bottom metal. So this, I wanted to know if there was actually interest, because ordering 6 sets of components at like $3,000 to $4,000 each causes me concern. And so it's not something that I really want to do unless there's interest in doing that. So if you could let us know, comment, give your feedback if that would be something you would be interested in, and it would be a good idea for me to do. So anyway, like I said, I'm packing these up, shipping it off to the customer.
Okay, hold that gun up so we can see it better.
Okay.
Did you tell them that we shot it on another video?
We did. We shot it on another video.
Here, let me look at this.
I think that's Macmillan Shadow Camo.
Okay, flip it over, show the bottom. So right now it has REM 700 BDL style in it, which I think we're going to go to Hawkins Hunter DBM,
right?
Not BDL is what I meant to say if I didn't say that correctly. All right, flip it back over. The idea is we were thinking about building this duplicating this gun identical, because everything just turned out so good on it and it shot so good. So, I want to build like 6 of them, and Vicky's totally freaking out when I say order 6 identical barrels, 6 identical stocks, 6 identical receivers, etc. But
yeah.
I mean, the thing that it's just throw it up, show them, even for you, because she's little, you realize. It's a normal size gun. For us, it's a normal size gun. That's an A3.
Yeah.
So everything about it balanced great, it shot great, it just did everything great. And, I'd like to have it. I really would. That'd make a heck of a nice hunting gun. And so I just thought, well, let's make a whole bunch of them. So, but.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway.
Okay, is that it?
I think that's it.
All right, well, you got to say bye.
Merry Christmas. See you later. Bye. Okay, so today is day
It's today the 4th day that we've been working on all this stuff. So we shot yesterday, and it was good. We've already looked at some of the footage. We shot out to 800 yards. I saw in the footage now, those strikes that were hitting right and left, the wind was raging out there. It was dead calm where we were at the bench, but it was going across that hill pretty hard. So anyways, we shot 55 shells yesterday, which is pretty much, it's a lot. And now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to decap these. And I just wanted to show you this, so come over here so they can see, Vicky. Use your zoom if you can. So this is a dedicated decap die. I actually have 2 of these. I have an RCBS one also. And you notice all it is just a rod with pins on it. And they come with 2 different size pins. So if you're doing like 6 PPC, things like that, things that have small holes, they come with a smaller pin that goes in. These are interchangeable. But it's just a rod that goes inside a die with a big hole in it. And that's it. And this threads up in there into the die, and then, and again, I'm not going to lock it down, but it has a nut that goes on the top of it. So the thing to do is set it, and these are tall cartridges, long cartridges. So set it on there, and I like to be able to see it. In fact, you know what? I might take this nut off. Okay, I like to be able to see it, but what you don't want to do is ram the mouth of the case into the top of the die. Or ram the pin. If you notice that, I should have showed you, that pin has a flange on it. You just want to, just enough to knock out there it is. So see, the primer just fell out. I better put my primer catcher on here. I don't like this style really. So anyways, Vicky, shut that off for a minute, and I'm going to knock all these out. So, we're knocking these primers out, and the thing I noticed right off is they're coming out easy. Like really easy. Like more easy than I would want. So whether we have loose primer pockets already or not, I don't know. But we didn't see any pressure yesterday out there where we were shooting, but I always have to bring this to people's attention. When you're shooting a bat receiver in a gun that's built properly, sometimes it will not show pressure until you'll actually be way over. Now, I don't think we were, but these are coming out easy. I like them almost to snap out. So that means your pockets are still really tight. So we won't know until we go to reseat them how easy they go back in, but these are coming out pretty dang easy. Alright, so we knocked out all the primers with a dedicated decap die, and we steel wooled the necks to get them cleaned up, and now all we're going to do is we're going to run them all back in this gun. I took the firing pin out of the gun, and we're going to run them back in and see what they're like. And if they're all like that, it'll be excellent. But you don't know to run them all. So we got to run all 55 of these back through here. The thing about this is, if you get ones that close easy and ones that close hard, you need to separate them. Keep the ones that close easy together and the ones that close hard together. If you mix them, and I've seen this on paper, it's almost hard to believe. If you shoot a easy one, and then a hard one, and then an easy one, and then a hard one, and then an easy one, and then a hard one. So you do that 6 times, 3 easy and 3 hard. I actually still have the target somewhere. Literally 2 bug hole groups on the paper. The easy one's going through this hole, and the hard one's going through that hole. And it was actually almost hard to believe that it would be that pronounced. And maybe not all guns would be, but that one was. So you don't mix easy and hard closing brass. Alright, we're going to run all 55 of these through, so there's no reason to have Vicky standing there holding that camera. All right, so we ran all 55 of them back in the gun. They went in perfectly uniform, as good as it could possibly be. I mean, the bolt handle dropped the same on each and every one. So that is very good. So the next thing that we're doing here is, this is my primer pocket uniforming tool. I'm just using it by hand. Normally I run it in a drill. I'm just sticking it in here and knocking out a little bit of that carbon. If you notice, it's not actually reaching to the bottom. And I don't care. I just want to make sure that they are uniform. I just got done saying here a minute ago, it's interesting that some brass, when it goes off, some cartridges, it'll grow and you almost completely recut it again. Some of them, if anything, seem to get deeper. So as you see, this is not, I mean, I'm getting a little bit out. If you can see that, what's coming there, but that's not brass chips. So anyways, we're gonna clean all the primer pockets, and then we're gonna seat primers. Well, no, we're gonna measure them. We want to measure the brass, and we want to see. We're assuming that it got shorter, but we want to see. So, all right, I need my calipers then, Vicky. All right. So we cleaned all the primer pockets, and the interesting thing is, I have two different tools. He did some, I did some. It didn't actually touch the bottom of the primer pocket in any of them. So what that means is, when these cases blew out, it pulled the primer pocket forward with it. In other words, the primer pockets got deeper than what they were originally. All right, well, that's not that big a deal because it's close. It only pulled them ahead. It looks like maybe a thou or something. They're not perfectly uniform now. But what's more concerning is, indeed, the brass did get shorter when it blew out. So watch what we have here. Can you see this, Vicky?
I'm getting there.
Yes?
Okay. Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes.
All right, so we got 2827. We got 2830. We got 2838. We got 2839, I would say. Let me see here. Yeah, 39. And we got 2840. And the original measurement you think was 2842?
Yeah.
So they got shorter. The problem is, I don't care that they got shorter. What I care is, that means we know by the print, by the way, that for sure the case mouth will not be jamming into the end of the case mouth in the chamber. We know that for sure because we got plenty of room. The problem is, these are not uniform, and a lot of people won't believe this, but I've messed around with this a lot. Now, this is assuming you have good bullets and the gun's capable of shooting a half-inch or better. If they vary, they don't shoot in the same place, not in one hole. I mean, they might shoot half-inch, but they're not going into one hole if they vary that much. So what you're going to be forced to do here is, which is definitely not what we want to do, we're going to have to measure all these. And so 2828 is the shortest one. You'd be forced, if this is just one, we'll just set it aside. But we're going to have to go through all these, which I haven't done yet. Well, that's not good. That one's even longer yet. 2841. So we can't have 15, 20 thou variance between the shortest one and the tallest one. I mean, there's another way you could do it. You could go in, you could segregate them. You could put the tall ones with the tall ones, the short ones with the short ones. But the right thing to do is trim them all to the shortest one. But they're already short. Okay, so we don't want to go shorter. If anything, it would have been nicer if they went longer. So that's what, where are you? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to measure all 55 of them, and we're going to find the short case, and we're going to find the long case, and then we'll decide what to do. Alright, so we measured them all, and it's not good. So the shortest case measures 2.825, and the longest case measures 2.852 for a difference of 27 thou. That's a lot. That's a lot. Whenever I'm loading cartridges in here, I like I have a Wilson trimmer, which we may see here in a minute. We're going to decide what to do. I usually like to get within 1. And I really, really believe that within 1 matters. Because you think about it, the more or less neck you have, the more or less bullet grip neck tension you have. But I also think, and I've heard different guys talk about this, say one has a neck, let's just say it was 50 thou longer, and one has a neck that's, say, 50 thou shorter. That's almost like barrel length, if you think about it, because you've got this combustion chamber here, right? The powder goes off, and then you've got this length, a certain length of neck to this certain length of neck. And really, there's an old guy that was a really good gun builder named Richard Franklin. See if any of you guys remember Richard Franklin. He talked about this a lot. And he was the first guy that ever put me on to not deburring the inside of a case mouth. Because I maintain that he is right, because I've been doing it that way forever since. You know the normal tool, you reach down in there and you chamfer the inside?
Yep.
Why, he said, don't ever do that. And I stopped doing that years ago. And he said, cut them in your Wilson trimmer, because that's one of the ones that get it most accurate. Cut them in your trimmer, and then use a piece of steel wool held on the end just to break that sharp edge, and leave them all. And he thought, and I think also, that having uniform neck lengths, uniform cartridge lengths, without chamfering the inside of that, I think that contributes to accuracy. So you have no choice here. The only choice that you have here is you could go back and measure them all again, and these ones that are the extreme anomaly, either the extreme long ones or the extreme short ones, you could just set them all aside. Use them for fouling and sighter shots, or you have to trim to the shortest one.
Yep.
Which, as we went through all these, I was seeing some of the same numbers over and over again. So that means there is a group in here that's pretty uniform. But I really don't want to trim them all to that short length. So we're going to sit here and talk about this, decide what we're going to do. I don't know. You might see us load them, you might not. So, all right. So what we did is, rather than trim them all, before we did that, we decided to measure them all, and we measured them all again. And this is what we ended up with. We ended up with 15 that are really long. We ended up with 35 that are semi-uniform. There's about 5 thou difference in these. And then we ended up with 5 that are way short, like 20,000 shorter than the other ones. Now, this is what we were just talking about, because this is important, what I'm going to say. There's many different ways this can happen, but see, we take steps to eliminate that. So we used the Sartorius when we weighed out our powder charges, and we literally are weighing them to the kernel. This thing right here will not only measure a kernel, it'll measure, if you take a kernel and cut it with an X-Acto knife, it'll measure it. If you took a half of a kernel, and if you could cut it, if you take a human hair, one of Vicky's hairs, and lay it on that Sartorius, it will weigh it. I mean, if you breathe in here, watch. Do you see that? All I did was breathe. Okay? So, I mean, that's a true lab grade scale. When we say we measured to the kernel, we mean we measured to the kernel. All right. So, the next thing, we had the chronograph set up the whole entire time when we were shooting yesterday, and Jack Keith was watching that chronograph the whole time, and what do we say? We never saw 20 feet.
No.
Did you see 20?
It stayed solid between 305, 3005.
We saw, no, I know we saw 29.95.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
except for those first 2 shots.
Yes.
So we're the chronograph numbers, let's just say, had an extreme of 10 or 12 feet a second. That's the extreme. They were running very uniform. So that's telling you how much pressure you're running to some degree, right? I mean, it's not absolute, but it's kind of it's an indicator. So we know we had the exact same amount of powder. We know we were getting very uniform velocities across the chronograph, and it was shooting pretty darn small groups for what I would call junk bullets. And so I hate to say this, but when you see this and this and this, guys aren't going to like this, but I say that's junk brass. I say that's absolutely junk brass. What you've asked the brass to do is beyond its limit to do it. Now again, we're wildcatting, but the other thing that really bothered me is it sucked the primer pockets deeper, no doubt about that. And the primers, those primers nearly fell out. And yet, we had no signs of pressure yesterday.
Correct.
I mean, none. The bolt just opened easy, and all of these went back in the gun easy. So, I would say we exceeded the capacity of the brass to do what we're asking it to do. Now, so what we were thinking about is, what are we going to do? Are we going to say we're just going to load these and go out and shoot them, and just get rid of, use those for fowlers and siders, use these for fowlers and siders? And Jack Keith said that he doesn't want to, it's going to be too much work to do what we're planning on doing, so we're just going to stop. We're going to stop. We know the gun shoots. I mean, we got pretty small groups out of it, even way out there at long range. We're going to put that video up, and we're just going to stop, and you'll do it. He has his own range at his house. He'll figure it all out. One of the things we're already talking about is going to, what'd you say, 300 RUM brass,
Yeah.
and pushing it up,
Necking it up.
to see if we can get stronger brass, because that, without being certain, I would say right now what we need is, we need stronger brass. Stronger brass in the case head. And yes, I know what everybody's thinking, but we don't know if we don't know if Alpha, we don't know if they make 300 RUM. Or we know they don't make 375, right?
I'm pretty sure they don't.
I'm pretty sure they don't. So what we need is, we need stronger brass. Anyways, we're going to quit. And I think we're going to the mountains, right?
Yeah.
So if we go to the mountains, we might take that camera. It has been awesome days in the West. I mean, 100-mile visibility. We're going to go up to 8,000-9,000 feet today, and maybe we'll take some video and put it on the end of this. All right, see you guys.